Right. We are now live.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello. So awesome. On behalf of Steve and obviously Carrie and myself for the Clown Appreciation Society. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. You guys are just spoiling us. We've had so many great people on, and it's great to have somebody that plays such a crucial part in the new movie on now.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us. We're so excited.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for being flexible, and I'm happy to be
here. Anytime. All right, so we have a bunch of questions that we have, and then we have some great stuff from the members. Once again, they always ask really great questions, and so I think Carrie's going to probably kick it off today.
Okay, first question: when will Terrifier 2 be released? We know you know it.
Yeah, I know. It will be released January 32nd of 2020.
All right.
I like that. That could be the top answer so far.
At least we got an answer.
I like it. Yeah, that sounds good. So what have you been doing to stay busy during the pandemic? And have you been working on different stuff or, outside of Terrifier, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing a lot with my friend. We've been working on a show for like the past year. And it's funny because once it started picking up, I got cast in Terrifier last year. So we had to really put our writing on pause. And we really were in like a really good flow. We like to write together. I don't know if you guys write or if you need to write alone or together, but I love like bouncing ideas off of intelligent people. So me and my friend, we have a good time writing. So during quarantine, we got together as much as we could and wrote. And I also filmed a couple things after quarantine that I can't really talk about yet. Some of my projects are still on hold, which kind of sucks. I have sporadic auditions now and then, which is great. But one thing I did realize during quarantine, you really know the people who are most precious to you because you're like, okay, I'm going to see this person. I'm going to see this person. Everybody else can just fuck off. Like I saw the people I really trusted and really knew that I could be safe with them, and we did it safely, socially distanced. But I didn't expand past those people.
Yeah, and that's why you're here talking to Clown Appreciation Society as well, right? Yeah. You made the A-list. Good stuff.
Okay, question number 3. Were you exposed to the movie genre prior to auditioning for the role, or were you a Terrifier fan?
By movie genre, do you mean like
horror? Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah, I love horror. I wasn't sure if like Terrifier was its own like segment of horror. Like I hear it's like gore and torture and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to specify. But yeah, I love horror. Horror is probably the genre I can go to most days. Like I don't need to really be in the mood for it. I'm always in the mood for it. Yeah, I love horror. As far as Terrifier, I knew of it before I auditioned, but I didn't watch it. And when I got my first audition, I wanted to watch it, but I didn't have time. Like I needed to learn my lines. It was like real crunch time. I didn't have a lot of time to watch it. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to audition. And then I kept getting a call back. And I was like, okay, maybe I should continue not watching it because maybe I'm doing something that they like. And maybe if I do watch it, it might influence the way my choices. It might influence how I'm, perceiving the role. So I just decided not to watch it. But I did watch it the day I found out I was cast. When Damien told me I was cast, I was like, okay, I'm going to go home to watch it. And I did. I watched it that night and then a couple times after that.
And you still came back for more. I love it.
Back. I mean, I knew what the film was about. A lot of people, they didn't, spoil anything for me, but they were like, you got to watch this. You'd appreciate it. And they're right, because I do love kind of gory and creepy films. And it is very creepy. And most of my friends know I'm very scared of clowns. So they knew I would appreciate it, or at least.
What was your reaction? What was your reaction to the scene?
What scene? The scene?
The scene.
Yeah.
I just my mouth was agape. Like I was just looking at the screen like, what? I was just so I think I was even like I like pulled back. I was like I've never seen anything like that. I was impressed. I was impressed by the creativity. Um I was definitely like, when you watch films and you don't know what your face is doing, you're just looking at it like, oh my God. Like that's exactly I think every time I watch that scene, I'm like that. It surprises me every time. It's just insane.
Yeah, that's definitely a good term for it. um, so what was Sienna like to play, and how is she, either different? Well, how is she different from you, or how, is she the same as you?
Well, I think she's different in a lot of ways. But I bring myself to most of the characters I play. You kind of have to if you want to, tell the story truthfully and honestly. Um, Sienna was a blast, though. I got to do so much with her because, she has her moments of attitude because she's a teenager. She's an older teenager, but a teenager at that. So she definitely has her moments of sass, which I like, which is a lot like me. She is strong and she also is very weak in a lot of ways, which I really enjoyed playing. I could play into her weaknesses a lot. And I love vulnerable characters like that. So that was probably my favorite part about playing Sienna. But in the ways that she's like me, I mean, she's an artist, like she's a cosplayer. I'm not a cosplayer. I wish I was a cosplayer. I have a lot of friends who are cosplayers and are very good. It's just too much commitment for me. Um, but I'm an artist in that way. She likes to draw, and you'll see some of her drawings in the film. One thing that I wish I was like Sienna, I wish I had a little brother like she does, played by Elliot. He was a lot of fun to play off of and play with. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're you'll see, but we're similar in ways, but I think she's a lot cooler than me. You'll find out. Both because of her strengths and her weaknesses.
Love it.
All right. Elliot Fulham plays your brother, and we can't say enough. He can't say enough about you, and I think adopting you as his sister. We all get the sense that the feeling is mutual. Tell us about working with him.
So fun. I just got done
Yeah.
talking about yeah, I loved working with Elliot. I mean, he's just incredibly mature for his age. And I got very close with his parents, Daniela and Justin, because they're fantastic. I don't know if you guys ever spoken to them, but they're amazing. Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of the scenes I had with Elliot were some of my favorites because we got to have, there was bickering between us, which I loved. It felt like a genuine brother sister relationship, but also there are moments of compassion and love. And I think you can really see that. And Elliot did so well at portraying that that teen that's interested in like gore and the macabre, and he because he is like that, I mean, in real life. But I don't know, I think the reason why we keep talking is because we had such good chemistry on set, and he's just a silly, fun, intelligent kid who I love spending time with. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about Elliot because he's great.
He's super. Yeah,
Can I just also add that was really good casting on Damien's part because you two look similar. You two do look similar to each other.
Mhm.
I don't know if people know this, but Samantha Scafidi was actually there during my in-person audition, my chemistry read, the one who plays Vicky Hayes.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was there, and when she saw Elliot and me standing next to each other, she's like, "Oh my God, they look like siblings. You need to cast this kid." And I really wanted Elliot cast from the get-go because he was just so talented, and also we do kind of resemble each other, so that's good.
Yeah, great casting.
Yep. Um, so I see one comment in there, but it kind of ties in with this next question. So what were some of your favorite things about working on the movie, and what was your favorite scene to film?
Wow, that's a loaded question because I feel like there's so many answers. There's so many answers. I really loved working with the cast and crew. Like we just had so much fun. I mean, we were all exhausted and tired and miserable a lot of the time, but we still really enjoyed each other's company. Um, I don't know. My favorite thing about filming probably was I really enjoyed the more hands-on scenes where I needed to be active. I really enjoy moving my body, and I really enjoy doing stunts. And I didn't do all of my stunts. There were 2 stunts that Damien and Phil wouldn't let me do. Actually, no, Phil kind of wanted me to do it. He was like, "No, she can do it." But Damien
You
was
can
like,
tell us if
"No."
you want.
What's
You
that?
can tell us. You can tell us if you want. What stunts were they?
Uh, I would like to. I would like that. They're very cool though. They're very cool. And I could have died. I can tell you that. I could have died if
Oh,
and these were things I wasn't trained in. Like I'm good at fighting, I'm good at taking a hit, I'm good at giving a hit, but these things were special skills that I just didn't have. I was up for trying it, and David's like, no. So we'll see. But I also really enjoyed the the scenes that I had with my friends, played by Kaylee and Casey, with Elliot, with my mom, Barb, who I can't wait for you guys to meet. They're just like, there's such real human interactions. And I think that is it's a good example of how Damien has really listened to his fans, because he really truly he upped his writing. Like it's so much better in this. I mean, the first one's great, but there's not much of a story. But in the second one, there's a story with arcs and real character development and real relationships between these people. And that was my favorite thing about filming, also because the actors were incredible to work with.
Yeah.
okay. Have you ever acted along aside any of the other cast members in any other movie before, or known them before?
No, well, actually, okay, so no, none that you know of, but there are 3 actors that I recommended to Damien, because he was having a hard time finding someone. And I was like, listen, you know, I train at a class, and I train at this class called the Actors Lab in Wayne, PA, and it's amazing. My coach is wonderful. And the actors that I work with there are phenomenal. They're just incredible actors. So I'm like, okay, this person kind of fits your, you know, your criteria. This person fits the breakdown. Why don't you see them? Why don't you see if they'll fit? And he did end up casting these 3 actors. So one of them I did actually do a film with. His name is Charlie, and he plays Jeff in the film. And we worked on Miss Barton's Famous Cakes together. And I, of course, recommended him to Damien. It's not like I was like, Damien, hire these guys. I was just like, hey, give me a scene. I'll send it to them. They'll self-tape it, and they'll send it to you. And that's why he casted them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, without any spoilers, this is going to be a challenge. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. Without any spoilers, what can you say about some surprises in Terrifier 2 that the fans may be in for?
That's so. I wish I would
I
have
know.
spoken to Damien about this first. I didn't know you'd ask this question. It's funny because they're actually filming now. I was supposed to go see them today, but my cousin's birthday's tonight, so I'm going to that. But oh my god, I want to tell you guys something without giving anything away. Um, I don't even know. I don't know.
You can be
I don't
like,
know what I can give away. I'd have to ask Damien.
yeah, you can be like, there'll be some really cool surprises.
There will be some very cool surprises that I don't think people will see coming. One thing Damien said, he said this in a previous interview, that there is something that is bringing art back to life. There's like an entity that is, and it's played by an actor. But that's not a new spoiler. It just in case nobody or maybe someone here might not have heard that. That's kind of a big deal. And the person who played that part was incredible. I really enjoyed working with that person. I won't be gender specific, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. I want to tell you guys everything, but I'm scared I'll give something away.
I think that we do get this. I mean, I think that a lot of people do think a lot of the fans, especially on here, think that there are going to be surprises, but I believe that there's even more than people think, which is good. So
Definitely. Damon went above and beyond with this writing.
yeah.
I can't stress that enough. Like I even when because I read the script hundreds of times. I need to. It's just the type of actor that I am. And every time I was like blown away by something new. And I wrote like my notes and everything. I had thousands of questions for Damien, and I was just blown away by the writing. I was like, wow,
Hmm.
you really upped your game this time.
Yep. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we had Jenna on recently. How do you think your character continues the story and or maybe in a way relates to some of the foundation laid by her and those other amazing ladies in the first one that went head to head with Art?
That's a really good question. Well, I mean, Sienna is similar to Tara in a lot of ways, played by Jenna.
Mhm.
She's tough. You know what though? I there's something that makes me want to say that I feel like Tara's character is a little bit more badass because like you can see her strength immediately. Like you can just see she's a badass. Whereas with Sienna, I think she kind of goes through this journey to find herself, to find her confidence, to find her strength. So I feel like, in my humble opinion, Tara's a little bit more of a badass immediately. Um, as far as Catherine's character, who I absolutely loved, like she cracks me up in that film, and Tara's amazing too, obviously, but like Catherine's just hilarious in that film. She really gives me PJ Soul vibes.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
all her, I was like,
for sure.
oh my gosh, she really gives me those vibes. I could see her playing
Yeah.
a character like that. And I mean, she kind of did. We do have a character that's kind of similar to her, but so in a way she kind of passes the torch off to this character. She's very similar. She's kind of fun and hilarious as well. I think she will be the comic relief, her and the guy who plays her boyfriend. I don't know if I can mention who it is. Maybe you guys can guess. I don't know, but because I don't want to give away everything, but yeah, so I feel like there are characters that kind of mirror the first ladies, and even Victoria Hayes. There's another character who's similar to her, who's kind of grounded, level-headed. You would think that would be my character, but my character is a little bit is really not that level-headed. She has trauma and issues and problems. So I'm excited for you guys to learn more about that. But yeah.
Nah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's great. Um, were you nervous you might be killed off in a highly talked about fashion like Dawn?
Um, Well, to be honest, I like extravagant kills. Like, I think, I'm not going to mention whether or not Sienna survives or not. Why would I say that? But I will say that if there was a prospect of dying, I would have liked a very extravagant, remembered death. It doesn't necessarily need to be like gory, but just like creative, like the first one. I thought the first one was super creative,
Yeah.
so I would have been down for that. But I can't tell you whether or not that happens. Or, but yeah, I like the idea of really crazy deaths. I think they're memorable, and that's why I like them.
That's for sure. Absolutely.
She will be always remembered as that death.
Yep.
It's an awesome way. Like there are people who have tattoos of her, like just like
Yeah.
well, I'm not gonna say, but
Crazy. Yeah.
spoil anything. But
All right, this question is from Heather McAdoo. Was there a time in the movie where Art the Clown legitimately scared you, like you actually felt fear?
yes, a lot of times, because I mean I've said this about Dave before. I mean he's an extraordinary actor. He's really good at manipulating his face, manipulating his body, and not only that, but to give Damien credit, the prosthetics are horrifying. The exaggerated cheekbones, the exaggerated nose, the chin, it's just terrifying to witness. But I mean, after cut, I mean, it's Dave to me. Dave's just a silly, fun, happy-go-lucky guy, and he's not super scary. But between action and cut, yes, it's terrifying. And I am a little bit more of a method actor. I wouldn't say I'm full method, but I do really like to engulf myself and put myself in that experience. So yeah, I was absolutely scared at times, to answer your question in a very long-winded way.
It makes sense. It makes sense for sure. This next question is from Vanessa Windish. Who has been your biggest supporter throughout your life or your acting career, and what would be your most solid piece of advice to anyone wanting to pursue the entertainment industry?
That's a good question. It's also a really nice question. You know what? I've been really lucky. I have very supportive friends and family, certain family, and I've really surrounded myself with wonderful friends. It's more than one answer, but I guess the easiest one that comes to my mind is my spouse, my partner Andrea, who's always been very supportive of me. Like when I first said, like when we met, like, hey, I'm probably going to be an actor one day, just so you know, and that will involve whatever, and you have to be cool with it, and otherwise we can't be together. And Andrea was like, okay, that's fine. And every time I do something, he's really supportive about it. He's like, yeah, go full throttle, do it. But also I have like wonderful cousins who are constantly writing to me like, hey, you're a badass, you're awesome, like keep doing what you're doing. And also like my best friend who is wonderful and is constantly like the one I'm writing with, constantly like, you're a bad bitch. And I'm like, yeah. So I surround myself with really great people who are very supportive. Now, the second part of the question, for people who want to act, again, there's so many ways, there's so many avenues you can take to become an actor. The most important thing I'm going to say is classes, practice, train. With anything, you need to refine your skill. I mean, all of the great actors have training one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
The people who got lucky, like I think Johnny Depp is one of them because he was like a musician and then he got a role in Nightmare on Elm Street, but like that's like 1 in a million. That never
Yeah,
happens, and
right.
I'm
That doesn't
sure
happen.
refined his craft as years went on because he's now an incredible actor. So that I would absolutely say first, take classes, so important, and watch as many movies or at least read plays, like whichever medium you'd like to stay in. If you want to be a theater actor, if you want to be a film actor, try to read as many plays as possible, try to read as many books as possible, try to watch as many films that interest you, the films you'd like to be in, and just create. That's all you can do. All you can do is create, make your own content. There's so many options these days. You have an iPhone, you have this thing that is the portal to making whatever you want. Write your own content, create your own content, and just put it out there, and hopefully it will stick. But more importantly, the best thing you can do is just try to refine your craft as much as possible and keep creating. Just do it is really all you can do, is just do it.
Yep. Love it.
Okay, this one's from Jeffrey Mills. Without divulging any spoilers, is it safe to say the general tone of Terrifier 2 will be the same as the first film?
Yes, there's definitely a lot of aspects. I would say the only differences is a lot more story, a lot more character development, and a lot more gore. Like, can't
Yay.
even so much more gore. So unnerving, so many more unnerving things about this film. It's definitely better crafted, but it has the same essence as the one before. You still get a ton of Art the Clown, probably even more this time than the first one, and just more development, more understanding of what's going on. So I don't think people will be disappointed. If they love the first one, they'll love this one. If they had issues with the first one, Damien addressed those issues because
Mm-hmm.
he's great at being constructive. So he takes all opinions, all criticisms, takes it constructively, digests it, and is like, all right, I'm going to try to please as many people as possible.
Yeah, sounds like he's definitely on track to do that too. So the next is a not question, but it is a question. So Um, Polly Hannah says, no question. I just want to say how badass Lauren looks. But that did kind of bring up a question. So I added it for her.
Okay.
So it says, so tell us about Sienna and what type of challenges she brings to the table for art that he may or may not have expected, and what is driving her?
Oh no.
Did you freeze a little bit?
Oh.
Oh, I think she's back. Sometimes that happens. We'll give it a second.
All right.
Well, I hear her, so that's good.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys, you totally froze for a second.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you
So
want me to ask it again?
I didn't get that whole question.
Sure.
It was what kind of challenges Sienna brings to the table for art.
Yes.
That was like the thing I heard, and that was it.
Yeah, and then yeah. So what type of challenges does she bring to the table for art that he may or may not have expected, and what is driving her?
Yeah. That's a great question. I don't know how much I can give away because I think the correct answer to those questions gives away a lot of the plot. Or a lot of the spoilers that kind of drives the entire film.
Yeah.
I mean, you did see in the trailer the kind of challenges Sienna directly gives to art. She fights back.
Yep.
It's a lot more than that. It's
Mhm.
a lot more than that I can't answer. But one thing I can say, because it's been said a couple times, was when I found out I got the part, I met with Damien and Dave at Outback Steakhouse, which was so much fun. And one thing, because I didn't think much of I mean, I thought the film was going to be great, but I didn't really think about my character that much. I was just excited to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to be cool. It's whatever. And they were like really pushing home how important Sienna was. They were like, Sienna is important. And I was like, okay. Like I didn't think much of it. And then Dave is like, no, you don't understand. Sienna is the Batman to Art's Joker. And I was like, what? That's a very heavy statement, my dude. And it was like, yeah, he's not kidding. Like he's absolutely right. So think of it as in the same kind of threat that Batman gives the Joker. It's similar. But also Sienna, she has a lot of perseverance. She has a lot of people she wants to protect. And I mean, you can kind of get an idea from just the cast. But she poses a huge threat for art. Whether or not she's successful, you'll have to see.
No, it's great. That's great. A palpable threat. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The next one is from John Roth. If you were a UFC fighter, what would your entrance music be?
Always my favorite.
Thanks, John.
Great question. Oh my God. Oh, these people have the best questions. You know what? I'm a huge fan of funk. I love funk music. I would try to go in a little different direction. I would choose Like Sugar by Shaka Khan. I don't know if you guys know that, but definitely look it up. The video is great. And I feel like I would just like stride. I would have like a pep in my step coming out. I might have a cane. It's like appropriate to like, I don't know, with a swagger and a cane. That's probably what I would do.
I like it. Good stuff. What is your go-to song when this is all part of John's? He likes to ask 30-part questions, which is great because we love it because they're all good questions. Yes. What is your go-to song when you're feeling down?
Yeah, these are really good questions. I love that it's all about music. You know, music's so important in driving like my entire career. Like I will curate playlists for my characters, and Damien did that for Sienna. So I have a very intimate relationship with music. My music to help me feel better. I actually listened to it today, not to make me feel better because I had a good day, but just because. But I do go to this song a lot, especially when I'm having a bad day. It would be "Break Stuff" by Limp Bizkit. I don't know if you know that
Yes.
song. It's like
Yeah.
perfect, when it's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything's
Yep.
sucks, that.
I love it. Got good energy.
It's great because like it makes you feel it's cathartic. It's like a relief when you listen to that music.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of screamo for that reason, like screamo bands and hard rock.
All right, another one from John Ruff. What was your favorite Halloween costume you ever wore?
Oh my God. Halloween is so important to me. I really care about my costumes. I was a witch almost every year as a child, like the same costume every year. And that's because like I wanted so badly to be a witch. I wanted to be able to like, cast spells and fly on broomsticks. So I have really great memories of being a witch. But I feel like in recent years I've gotten a lot more creative. I'm like, okay, I can't be a witch every year. But I was Yolandi from Die Antwoord. I don't know if you guys know who that is,
Mm-mm.
but it's an Afrikaans band, and I am obsessed with Yolandi, and I love that music. It's Zeph. And I got like the long white wig, and I got this white onesie, and I put like black like signs all over it, and I just loved it because it was so comfortable. And I really love comfortable costumes that I can just dance in. And yeah, probably that in more recent years.
That's awesome. Do you have any collections? And if so, what do you collect?
Oh my God. I don't have any like tangible collections. I do kind of fancy myself as someone who tries to collect experiences though. Like I've actually gone out of my way, and I know this sounds like uh cliche, I don't know, it sounds a little pretentious, but I truly will go out of my way to do things that make me uncomfortable just so I can like write it down, so I can put it in my back pocket and maybe I can use it for a scene. Like it's kind of crazy, but even in my moments where I'm like crying hysterically, or if I had just experienced something that is really hurtful or really amazing, I'll try to like keep that in mind. Like as I'm experiencing it, I'm like, okay, how do I feel right now? How is it affecting me? And I'll like write it down, and I'll try to pull it out whenever I need it, especially in a scene. So if anything, I feel like I collect experiences.
Yeah, I
I
like
know
that.
it's like
Good one.
insane, but
Yeah,
it's I do.
that's the way to be for sure.
Yeah.
All right, another one from John Ruff. Do you have a favorite sports team?
Um, Not really. I do really like the Phillies. I mean, I'm from Philadelphia, and I've always been a baseball fan. But I'm not like die hard about anything. Like I was super excited when they won the world championship in like 2008 or something like that. But like beyond that, not really. I'm more of a martial arts person. I'll like watch boxing, and I'll watch UFC and stuff like that. But not really. Sorry.
Philly sports fans are tough, though, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So people just be one like years ago, but like that was
Take your life in your own hand going to any of those games and stuff.
exactly. So that's
Yeah.
why it's probably because I'm a Philadelphian that I'm not a huge sports fan, because like I just don't need to have my heart broken every year.
Let's see. Oh, what are the best and worst Halloween candies?
Reese's are the best, and I will. That is a hill I will die on. Peanut butter and chocolate is the best combination in this universe. People who don't like peanut butter, I don't get you. I don't understand you. Also, Kit Kats and Twix. I'm not
Ooh,
a
yeah.
huge sugar person. I might break some hearts. I really don't like candy corn. Like, not a fan. Or licorice. Like anything with a
Ugh.
lot of sugar, I'm not crazy about. But if it's chocolate, chances are I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Licorice is gross.
Yeah, I agree.
So he says, to tie off real quick, looking forward to the film release and meeting you next year. ATCAS rules.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to meet everybody and see people again in person. But yeah, I can't wait to meet the people I haven't met yet. I'm so excited, especially for cons. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, last thing, Steve Jennings. He says he believes they're doing a remake of The American Werewolf in London. If the filmmakers are watching, here's your chance for an audition. Do your best English accent.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh my god. You know what? I'm okay at accents, but I have to like even I had to do an accent recently called Lancashire. And I didn't even know what it was. My agent asked me, they were like, do you know how to do a Lancashire accent? And I was like, totally. And I didn't know, I had to like Google it. And it took me like a couple days to get it right because I'm very specific about like syllables and, you know, like stuff like that. I wouldn't even know what to say. I don't know. Yeah, Dave's better at that than I am. I would need to practice, to be honest. Like I really have to focus on the syllables because that's kind of where the accents lie. Like Australian, like the O is really weird. It's like no, it's like bleh, it's weird. So I have to like practice it. So I'm not gonna make a fool of myself.
Stay off the moors. Stay off the moors.
Stay off the moors, right? Are they making it? Are they actually? I just thought of this by reading the quote. Are they actually making an American Werewolf in London remake? Do we know that? Is that true?
I heard it, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't. I thought he was. I don't know. Maybe that's true or not. I didn't know, but
I think they should just leave things alone.
yeah.
Leave them the way they were.
Yeah.
But I will say this: the Evil Dead 2013 version I really loved. I don't really know if it's a remake though. It might be like a sequel, but that was one movie that I was not expecting to like, and I really liked it.
Yeah. No, there have been some good remakes for sure.
Yeah.
I heard that they're working on a remake of Exorcist,
Mm-hmm.
which I think you'd probably have to do a really, really good job on that movie because that's, you know, you're messing with a classic.
Brilliant. It was
I know.
winning.
Yeah.
Oscar winning for a
I know.
horror film. That's unheard of.
I know.
So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to work on it.
Right. To be left alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You hung in with all these questions. The members do have great questions, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. No,
And
some really great questions, and I enjoyed being here.
yeah, awesome. Thanks. Well, we hope to see you soon.
Yes, thank
And,
you.
when we're all back to normal, and then we'll all meet up in Salem next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would love to do that, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I think I told you I've never been there, so I really want to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay safe.
Bye.
All right. Bye.